Hey everybody, Matt here from Matt's Movies and Music and More, welcoming you to this week's movie review episode. The movie I'm talking about today is actually a documentary movie, which is a music one. Another music one to the channel, which is great because I want to do more of these music ones as well as other documentaries. So this music documentary is called Bros, After the Screaming Stops, which documents the story of the pop band Bros. Now, for those of you outside of the UK, I will explain who Bros are. Bros is essentially twin brothers Matt and Luke Goss, and they formed in the mid-80s as a band, and eventually alongside bassist Craig Logan, who is not involved in this documentary at all. It really focuses on the relationship between the two brothers because it's been a number of years since the band ended, and they've both gone their separate ways and gone on to their own careers. Regarding both their careers, Matt has continued to work in the music industry and even headlined at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas for a number of years, whereas Luke, he has gone on to become an actor in Hollywood and has been in many movies including Blade 2 as well as the sequels in the Death Race series. I'm a big fan of Luke Goss as an actor. I think he's a very good actor. I mean, yeah, he's not exactly an A-list actor, but he's not the worst in the B movies. I think he's pretty good. I think I actually enjoy watching him in the Death Race sequels. I actually think Death Race 2 and 3 are actually better movies than the Jason Statham Death Race, but then that's just me. But anyway, I want to talk about this documentary. Now, Bros was a band that was very big in the late 1980s with the success of their very first single, When Will I Be Famous?, which is their signature song, which came out in 1988, I believe. And I always liked that song. I always thought it was a great track. And then their second single, which was actually released as their first single back in 1987, I Owe You Nothing, was their first number one. And this sort of sparked the whole Bros mania. So if you were in England in 1988, I'd be honest and say that Bros were the biggest thing in England at that time. And the Bros mania was crazy. You had the Brossettes, who were these, that was the nickname for the girls who were big fans, and they were hard as nails girls. They would fight to get to Luke and Matt, whatever, you know, they would do anything to get to them. But this documentary focuses on the fact that Bros have decided to reunite as a band for the first time since the early 1990s when they split up. And because of both the brothers' careers changing over the years, because Luke decided to leave Bros in the early 1990s, and it left Matt in a position where he didn't know what to do with his life, and Luke just wanted to just get out of music altogether, kind of thing. And the fact that in 2016 they both decided that they were going to reform and do some gigs and see how it goes. The gigs sold out literally in 7 seconds, which is impressive for a band who hadn't played in like 20 something years. So it eventually culminates with them playing their sellout reunion gigs at the O2, which every single show sold out. And Luke hadn't played the drums in a long time because Luke was the drummer and Matt was the singer. And he had to learn to sort of do that again. But the issue you've got in this movie is it really focuses on the behind the scenes of them now, which is that they're doing the rehearsals and they're clashing amongst each other here and there because they're brothers, twin brothers. Obviously they've got that link that, you know, if they don't get their way and stuff like that, and they talk about things, but they get angry at each other, and it's all shown on here. And I'm glad this documentary exists because it really shows the relationship between family that work together. And it's interesting because the movie itself doesn't really focus on the band's material because you don't really hear a lot of the songs that they've done in huge snippets. I mean, I Owe You Nothing, which was the band's only #1 single in the UK, I don't even think that's actually played in the film at all. When Will I Be Famous obviously played in it as a bit, and Cat Amongst the Pigeons, and I don't even think Drop the Boys played in it, but I know that they go on about, because it jumps back and forth from present day to archive footage from television shows in the 80s and so on, and it mentions about the fact that when their single, which I believe is called Chocolate Box, which got to #9 in the UK charts, that was deemed a flop because all the other Bros singles were top 5s. So the fact this was the first one that was outside of the top 5 they were like, oh, that's the end of Bros then, so Bros is going to disappear or whatever. But that wasn't the case. And if you watch this movie, you'll watch it and you'll just think, well, you know, this is a really interesting documentary. And the fact that it's got Ron Perlman, who actually appears in this film, and sort of says, oh, Guillermo del Toro loves Luke Goss, and he had no idea that he was in a band. And you watch it and you just think, you know, I really think that this idea of them reforming to do their gigs, which were a real success. I don't know if Bros are planning on doing any more in the future, but I reckon this movie shows that the brothers have really tried to put their differences behind them and work together. And I really enjoyed watching it. I don't think it's something I'll ever watch again, but it definitely shows you the behind the scenes of how a situation like this can happen, and that there will always be tensions when egos are there, because both of them have got egos. I mean, you cannot deny that they both haven't got egos. They both think that they're right, but at times they're not right, and sometimes they need to compromise, and that can always be a challenge when, I suppose, when you've got brothers and sisters that, you know, don't always agree. But I think this is a really well done documentary. It doesn't embarrass the band at all. I think if you want to know more of an insight into Matt and Luke's personal lives, this definitely tells you what you need to know. So whether or not you're going to check it out, you don't have to necessarily be a fan of Bros to enjoy this. I think if you like music in general, I would definitely recommend checking it out. So yeah, that's Bros After the Screaming Stops. Be sure to give me some feedback if you've seen it and what did you think of it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to do this all the time and say about the Facebook, Instagram and Twitter links. They're all in the videos of every video. And check them out. We'd love to see you guys subscribe and share them with your friends. So check out all our other videos on the channel, such as the What Did You Think series, At the Movies with Andrew, which is a great series about latest films, as well as these solo videos and some music reviews as well we've got on here. So yeah, thank you very much guys, and we'll catch up with you very soon. All the very best.